All right, in this video we're going to demo sort of the OG image generator tool, which is DALL-E. DALL-E was first introduced by OpenAI, and there was a first version called DALL-E, and then after that, I think maybe after a year or so after that, came DALL-E 2, and now we're on to DALL-E 3. So I'll go through DALL-E 2, sort of show some of the interesting features of it, and then we'll also look at DALL-E 3, which is built into ChatGPT, and as of now, not as nice. So first off, you will need to create a OpenAI account. If you haven't created one yet for ChatGPT, then you will need to. Again, I don't think you need to pay for DALL-E 2. I don't even honestly know anymore. All the credit systems are so confusing to me. I pay for ChatGPT, so you will likely get DALL-E 2 as a part of that. And you'll certainly get it as a part of DALL-E 3 if you pay. So don't trust me anymore on what things cost anymore or what credits work. But let's take a look at DALL-E 2. The first thing you notice is that DALL-E 2 is more or less being sunsetted. You can no longer buy DALL-E 2 credits as of, I guess, a month from now when this is being recorded. So they'll also be shutting off DALL-E 2 at some point, I think, as well. So you will be getting some credits, unclear to me. But you can also see that you do have, some new features coming soon to DALL-E 3, it sounds like. So again, I'll probably record this video and then in like a month it'll be out of date. Sorry. So it'll be DALL-E 3 will be available through ChatGPT, as well as it says it will support inpainting soon, which is great because I'm going to show you how to use inpainting in DALL-E 2 for the moment. So like most OpenAI tools, it's more or less being funneled through ChatGPT. I also assume Sora, which is their video model, will be funneled through OpenAI ChatGPT Plus or 4, 4.5, whatever they're going to release. Downside is that the image tools within ChatGPT today are terrible. Like, there are no tools. It's like you use prompting and that's it. So we'll take a look at some other tools here, and hopefully they make their way over to those tools in just a minute. So we're on DALL-E 2, which is labs.openai.com. And then you can go ahead and let's just type in our prompt again. So let's say beautiful painting of a dog riding a dolphin. Let's hit generate. Now you will see kind of an okay thing that DALL-E 2 does is that it does give you little tips as it's generating. It says, make sure you add different prompts or whatever into this, or, add styles, that sort of thing. So we could say here, let's say, in the style of Lisa Frank, 80s colors, 80s vibrant colors. Let's try this again. I have no idea why it keeps bugging. Move back. So mention styles like synthwave or cyberpunk. So maybe we can try it with synthwave next. So they don't really have the best, help tools or whatever it is. They just sort of give you tips. There is a surprise me function, which we'll look at in just a minute, that allows you to at least sort of update that sort of stuff. So our images looking kind of gnarly here. Again, DALL-E 2 is quite old at this point. I say quite old as if I don't work on lots of other older tools, but it is available essentially. It does work and it generates images. They're not the prettiest images, but you can kind of see how they work. What I do like about DALL-E 2 today is that there are still functionality to do what's called inpainting. So let's take a look at how to do inpainting here. So let me just hover over one of these images. You'll click on it and you'll see that you have the option to edit, variations, share, or save. And with save, I can either save it to a collection, which is also a feature that I didn't know they offered until very recently. They keep adding stuff to DALL-E 2 while also apparently sunsetting it. I have no idea. I don't get it. Let's go to edit so I can show you what inpainting is, because I think this is actually the first time I'm showing inpainting. Inpainting is available within Midjourney. I decided not to cover it because it just was like the video was long enough as is. And honestly, the tooling inside of Midjourney to draw stuff is terrible. So we can look at this and work off DALL-E 2 instead. So let's go ahead and hit edit. You'll see here you have the ability to sort of essentially erase or select certain sections or even upload an image. So let's say we're going to remove our tree here, and let's turn this into a sunflower. So you'll see it does, or not sunflower, a sun. So this does give me a beautiful painting of a dog riding a dolphin in the style of Lisa Frank, 80s vibrant colors. Let's say beautiful painting of a dog riding a dolphin at sunset with clouds in the sky. And let's go ahead and hit generate. And so see here, I basically got the exact same image. What I realized I did wrong here is I forget how different painting tools work. Basically what it's probably asking me to do instead is it gives me the exact same image and it just paints in this space. What I realized I need to do is actually change my prompt completely to only draw what I want here. So let's actually go back and do this. Let's go to edit image and let's remove our tree again. And here we say a beautiful painting of a sunset with clouds in the sky in the style of Lisa Frank. So let's keep all of our style prompt, and all we're doing is changing sort of the content part of the prompt. And hopefully what that'll do is that'll just give me a new image in this area. So we'll hit generate. After a while, these tips are somewhat helpful. Like it talks about like, change lighting or do other things. Here we go. So now we have some images here. Oh man, these are so gnarly looking. This one isn't terrible, so maybe let's work off this one. So I could use this. I could just hit let's create generate new variations. And all these variations are quite terrible. I mean, yeah, they're all quite terrible. I'm just going to leave it at that. So again, I don't think I've used any tool where variations actually look good. I don't know why. Maybe just the way that they do these in these models don't work particularly well. So we're just going to go ahead and work off this one. So we'll just hit, no, I guess we can't. There we go. There we go. That's what I want. How do I just save this? The save feature is now gone. Okay, cool. Well, we'll just leave that as is. It is saved into my history, so I can always go back and get it. We'll just do save as. Leave that as is. So realistically, like that's about it. Like there isn't really a whole lot else to DALL-E 2. If you're interested, we can hit surprise me and it'll generate a brand new prompt. Again, maybe a nice feature, but like personally, like I am more interested in editing my prompt that I gave it. Maybe more like what Midjourney was doing, which is, more like what Firefly is doing in generating like auto suggestion additive parts of the prompt rather than just starting over from scratch. But maybe these are really good. Clearly I need to change my password on DALL-E 2. Sorry, everybody. And these are so-so. Okay, so that's DALL-E 2. Again, the features are somewhat interesting. The model is clearly a little out of date and not exactly something we want to work with anymore. Now we'll go ahead and check out DALL-E 3. Okay, now we're going to look at DALL-E 3, which is built inside ChatGPT 4. So I believe you do have to pay for ChatGPT at this point in order to access DALL-E 3, which is in ChatGPT 4. All these numbers are confusing. I have gone ahead and actually used my perfect prompt crafting prompt that I showed in a previous week using the LLMs and that sort of thing to generate my image prompt. And I'm going to stick this in here and hope it works. So let's see. So I'll paste this in. It's quite long. This is longer than I would usually recommend for a image prompt using other tools. But hey, let's see what happens with DALL-E 3. So it's going ahead and creating our image for us. Interesting. So I think it's because I mentioned Lisa Frank that it is not able to generate the image, which happens. Maybe this is good, maybe this is bad. You saw that other models were able to use Lisa Frank as this. So let's just go ahead and remove Lisa Frank from this conversation. So we'll just say 80s illustration. the overall composition and fantasy-like style of artwork from the 80s. And let's just copy the second paragraph here. Paste that in, and let's see if we can get past this now. Looks like we made it a little bit further along, so that's maybe a good sign. What's interesting is because I did say I want a Lisa Frank image, it was able to, in my prompt actually also generate sort of the style of Lisa Frank without saying Lisa Frank. And here's our image. This image capturing a joyful corgi riding a dolphin against a vibrant and colorful 80s style sunset backdrop has been created. It embodies the playful, etc., etc. Cool. So this is cool, but that's really it. I can't do anything else with this image. Now, they said they're going to bring in-painting into this, and I'll be honest, I don't even know what I would in-paint in this. But maybe let's just say, hey, generate this image again. Hey, generate a new variation of this image. So the challenge I see here in this interface, I'm more or less just confined to using text. Now, maybe when they add in-painting, that will be a little bit easier, but I've got no way to change this other than to literally change my prompt. Here is this a new variation? It looks like the exact same image. I literally couldn't tell you if that image is any different. Okay, well, let's try something different here then. Let's say instead of using purple in the image, can you use more cyan and pink? I will say that image is pretty cool looking. And I removed Lisa Frank from the prompt, so maybe it's a less, less problematic. I don't know. I mean, I get that they're basically saying this by like removing the legal name of certain images, that it's able to generate a new thing. And here's my new image. Now, I'll actually say, like, this has been better than I've seen in the past, which is that the image stays pretty similar. I maybe see a little bit of change in the body shape. But overall, the image looks pretty similar, which is pretty good. Let's try one more thing. Let's say instead of a corgi, can you make the dog a chihuahua? I have no idea if that's how you spell chihuahua. It is not. Okay. Chihuahua. There we go. Okay. Nope, that is... I guess it's a little... It's got a chihuahua face, but a corgi body. The joy of using these models and trying to figure out how to answer them correctly. You'll also notice that my background is less... there's less radiating lines. It's now got more cyan, but I didn't ask for that. So we can kind of see the problem with these models is that just using prompting, I can't really isolate what I'm actually looking to change. So I am stuck a little bit more with this type of thing. Let's try one more thing. So let's actually create this brand new, as a brand new prompt. I like to create brand new prompts in ChatGPT just to sort of remove all the previous context. So let's paste this in. I'm going to remove Lisa Frank again. And let's go in and let's change this to chihuahua. Nope, still can't spell that word. There we go. Capture a chihuahua riding a dolphin. Scene should not only shades of orange, pink, and let's just say cyan, and include a sun partially hidden behind fluffy clouds, adding depth and dynamic elements to the background. Okay, cool. Let's run this and see if we get what we wanted. And there we go. There is a slightly better Chihuahua. Um, we have our, much more radial lines. I'm actually really fascinated by how similar the compositions are for all of these images. That leads me to believe that there's some sort of like forcing factor within either the prompt itself or in the way the image is being generated that always defaults to this sort of shape and format. Let's try one more thing here, which is just, let's take a really simple prompt and let's paste this in. While this runs, I also should show you, I've done some previous examples of this, which is, where is our dog here? Dog flying over rainbow. So I'll show that in just a minute. But here you go. Just by changing the prompt a little bit, we do have less of that sort of central shape. This is, cropped a little bit differently. And the Chihuahua now has a bandana. So I like that. I mean, but I do wonder how similar all ChatGPT images are to each other. This seems like really pretty specific, and I cannot get anything in a different composition. So if you take a look at what I've been doing with dog flying over the rainbow, here's some examples where I've created a very simple prompt, generate an image of a dog flying over a rainbow, and I get an image, and then I say, make the dog look stronger and older, and I get a very different looking dog and a very different looking composition. And then make the dog flying over a rainbow in space, so now I get an image, but it's again a very different image. So I don't know if it's just my prompt. Maybe it might be the prompt of the the dolphin plus dog that always forces it into that composition. Let's say this. Let's try one more thing here. I'm just mostly interested at this point. If you want to shut off the video, you're more than welcome to. Generate an image of a dog riding a dolphin. I wonder how much the 80s sunset-ish kind of stuff is sort of forcing the image in that prompt. All right, so there's a different image. Lots of sparkles, lots of highlights there, but it is a different dog here now. So I did get a different composition finally. I wonder how much of it was defined by that 80s sort of sunset prompt in there. One other thing I should mention is as you generate the prompts, never click away. If you click away while the image is generating, it actually just stops, and then I think you just lost a credit for the images. So again, kind of a fun, interesting way for using DALL-E 3. Again, DALL-E 3 is pretty competitive with Midjourney in terms of that look, that sort of hyper-realistic photo look, which is maybe what people want, maybe not. And then it's just a question of like, do you want to pay for Midjourney in addition to ChatGPT? Maybe not. Do you just want to generate nice looking images and not have to deal with Discord or figure out all the different sort of prompt styles and that sort of thing? Then maybe this is enough for you. I think it's interesting. I'm hoping to see what they do with inpainting. I hope it's even a little bit better than what they're currently doing with inpainting in DALL-E 2. I'm very interested to see what happens with Sora. I kind of have a feeling they'll just dump Sora into ChatGPT 4. But then when you're working with video really requires a way different sort of experience than just a simple text prompt. But I do get the sense that OpenAI is just all in on ChatGPT, and maybe that's the direction they're going to force all of their tools. So we'll see. But for now, this is sort of the interesting use of a really good model stuck inside of another really good model with very little UI componentry to change or edit anything.